All right, we are in the Mountain Valley Tournament. It's Monday's qualifying round. Today's practice. I'm going to go out and I'm not worried about anything today. I just want to, I'm really focused on the last two par fours, and the first par four, I'm going to pound it down there. The other day I went at it and laid it up right here and went out this way, but today I'm going to go down here and come at it and see what the look is. We'll get out on it. I'm going to take and a Titan, the king of balls. Gonna use that wind with us today. Really get down in there. I think I can get down in there far enough without the wind. We'll see. It's a max OP shot no matter what, so might as well use the wind. If we have a headwind day and it's a max OP shot, we're going to end up in different spots down there. That's my opponent's turn. I thought for some reason it said it was my turn. Thor's Hammer 7. Look at all that topspin. Look at all that backspin. They should be able to get far down there. That club will work. See if they made it past the trees. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Way past the trees. Probably be easier to go now that it's my turn. Here we go. Getting out on the course, getting in the sand on the first shot. Too far, too far. So you don't need to use the wind. Take the wind out. Take the wind out. I got this covered though. I hit this perfect. It's going in the hole. That's it. That's it. I'm not too worried about it, but it's always nice to overdrive. Now you know where the limits are. It's not such a bad thing if you're out there and you're practicing and you're playing, and you end up in the rough. Use that as a learning experience. There are sometimes you get in the rough and you're like, oh, I'm screwed, and then you go, oh, I can make it from there. And that really, if you screw up, if you have some bad shit happen to you in the tournament, having been in the rough, you'll know where you can recover and where you can't. Max, mid. And see that one more time. There's max, there's mid. And I'm in that maybe 8 per ring range. 3.4 divided by 8. I'm going to do, it's 0.42. I'm going to do a half a ring. And then I hit it 2 rings straight to the right. Close. That'll be a good spot down there. That wouldn't be a bad spot with a 3 power ball if you got one of those precision 3s. I know the freaking purists out there. You're playing rookie and you're using something more than a freaking marlin or a white ball. If you're playing one-on-one, and that's the whole deal. But when you're out playing a tournament, you bring out whatever you have in your bag that will make the hole a higher percentage to get in. Whatever it happens to be. That's why you bought them, just for tournaments. I highly recommend, I mean, they're your balls, you can do whatever you want with them, but I highly recommend you don't try not to use them in one-on-one and save them for the tournaments. Then you can go out there and you can play with whatever the hell you want. What's funny about it is that 90% of the people, 99% of the people go out there and play, but they don't record their own video. 999 out of 1,000. So nobody gives them shit. But when you record your own video, and then everybody's like, "Oh my God, you played that hole. You played it with a berserker." I'm torn on what to do on this hole. If you're gonna shoot it up in here, you're gonna have to use some backspin to get it, or you can bounce. I may have to bounce it over. I had to bounce it over with my low level account just because of the red lines and the shit clubs that are in it. You can do the rough bump with a 5 side spin ball. It is possible. I'm gonna get up there and let's just get up there and put it on. Let's think. Let me make sure I have a bag that's got a Guardian in it, just in case I want to play it with a Guardian. Let's put a Guardian in that bag. We'll try it with this, see what we can get done. The 3 side spin is definitely not enough to get it around the bend. You'd need to bring out something, preferably something that's like in the 1 side or 1 power, 0 power. And I don't have anything that's 1 power that's got more than 3 side spins, so. And the only reason, the only reason I have those 1-3-4s right here is because they gave them to us. We'll try it with a katana. What does my Guardian hit? We'll go practice it. We'll go play it. This is a hole that you have some options on it, but the funnel that was in the original pin placement is definitely a thing of beauty. That rough bump is definitely money. If I had some 5 side spin balls in this, I'd probably show you. We'd probably take it just so that we can see if there's see how it rolls out, because I don't think it's going to roll out really well because there's a bunch of freaking moguls in the way. I don't have enough backspin to get me there. No dice. I'm at minimum club 2.2. What is my minimum? Guardians 1.5. 1.61 rings. Isn't it perfect? Probably didn't have any time left on the clock. Spent an hour sitting there looking at it. And I did a 20% pull, but you can see how, and I may have short shot it because I had to snap it off so fast. I did the shot the other day, bouncing it over like my opponent's doing and really trying to get a run at it. But you can see where if you could get your bounces right to try and bridge over those little moguls that are on the court, on the green, it might not be a bad deal. It seemed like with the rough bump that there was a 10 to 20% adjustment on it. What's funny is that some of these courses where they've changed the pin placement. In the past, we've done, a 10 or 15% adjustment, and all of a sudden they move the pin 6 feet to the left or the right, and now we're doing a 50% adjustment. And they've changed it. That's why that whole thing of doing these extra moves is all bullshit. It's all manufactured by, it's all just put in by Playdemic so that they can manipulate the holes. All right, it's a draw. It's a draw. Let's look at these par fives. I think we might have this par five getting over, trying to bridge over to get over into this range. If you're going to get up here, it's actually better to bring out a bigger power ball so that you can get into your short iron range. You've got to get like literally right up against the rough in order to get into. I think the pin placement, where is that the pin placement? I thought it was over here, but maybe I'm wrong. Man, I really would like to go for that, just to see what it looks like, just to see it. Which way's the wind blowing? And the wind, that's like perfect wind for it. Perfecto. Let's make sure we switch to that bag. I got the power. I got the power. Why is that 4 power ball ahead of the 5 if I've done by power? And this is the ball to bring out, to try it out, but I do have a limited collection of those. What is the deal? That's a little better. I don't have very many 4 power balls. 4 probably. If you could get down in there, we'll just bring a Titan. We'll just bring a Titan. I have a feeling this is going to put me, if I can get down in that deal, with a 3 power ball, it'll put me in between clubs. It'll either be minimum long iron or maximum short iron. But we're going for it. Let's put the wind back in it and just see if we can see what the deal is. Since we're practicing today. Yeah, you got to get just a monster push in order to get over. Four, 2. It's like 2 rings. And we'll put the forward moving power back on. Hitting it perfect. That'll put me in the rough, but let's see with a 3 power ball if we're using the wind. If you had a topspin boost ball, 1 or 2 topspin boost ball right there with, if you had an APOC 7, you could probably do it without a boost ball, but I'm almost halfway through that rough, rolling through. 1 or 2 more topspin would have definitely pushed it up. And they're right there at that transition. You can get caught depending on how big of a transition you have in your clubs. You can get caught where you've got to push up a little. You're a little too close with the long iron, not quite far enough with the short iron. The good news on this hole is it does have a backboard, so if we come in a little hot, it's going to roll back down to the cup. Today's whole goal is just to go out and make sure I got what I want to bring on each hole, and as the tournament goes on, I'll really start to work on. Now I know where I'm going to hit to. That shot right there, if I hadn't put the wind back in it, I would be pretty much where my opponent was at. So putting the wind back in is not going to help us unless we bring out a toss and boost ball. There's mid, so I'm at mid club. It's 4 per ring. Four per ring. .75. 7.5 of a ring. I really did think I caught that one perfect. I was surprised to see the grate. That'd have been really close. Real close. Real. Practice day. I may or may not qualify today. I'm going to play pretty serious until I get to the end, and then we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm really focused on the second and the third par 4. Those are in my opinion, those are the key to the deal. If we can get those standardized, and then we can work out just making one other shot on some other hole to end up with a 15, that's gonna be a thing of beauty. But those two, the mid par 4 and the last par 4, especially the last par 4, we've got to get that. Got to get it. I was playing that with my low level account earlier today and trying to work out the spin. It's a different setup, but I did get an upgrade for my quarterback and picked up like 4 more yards, and that will make a big difference. Big. Hole number 4. Okay, this is our first litmus test right here. Is this? No, that's not hole number. That is hole number 4. All right. I think I can play this with just I don't know that we need a lot of spin. I'm going to play it with a katana. That way I got myself covered. If I do need spin, I got it. That bag. In the past, we used to play this with about 10%. We'll see. We'll see. We do have a shot on this one. This is definitely, I can't remember the last par 3, but we definitely have a shot on this. I don't know that the pin placement's that much different. It seems like it's further back. But other than that, it's like it's on the same line. It's just a little further back than it normally is. Because usually you have to pinch up quite a bit with that second bounce. Your second bounce is so close to that rough that if you make a bad pull and it falls off real quick, if you overshoot it real quick, they did 2.5 rings. And they hit it a good solid 2 rings great to the left. That was way off. They overpulled it to start off with, and they hit it great to the left, so that just compounded their problem. 2.9. And I am in Grizzly, but barely. I'd have to bring out a 3-power ball if we had headwind. I'm going to start off 3 rings off. Divided by 0.9, 3.54 rings. There's 3, 5. Hitting it perfect. And that pushed me like way the hell off. So shit, then that's farther than 10%. So that's like a 25% pull. Yeah, you tell me how you can play this hole with the pin placement that's 6 feet in front of it, and it's a 12.5% adjustment, and they move it 6 feet back, and all of a sudden it's a 25% adjustment. That's why if you look at the holes consistently across the game, it's not consistent. It's all made up shit that Playdemic is, you know. And what the thing is, they probably have some variable they can go in there, and when they put that variable in it, it slightly modifies it for every hole. Hole number 5. Okay, here is the test. All right. This is definitely a hole. Whatever, like if you don't bring out anything special, you just play the other holes. You know, like I've been being aggressive, like on hole number 1, I was trying to be super aggressive and ended up in the rough, but you could easily clear the trees. Just don't put the wind back in. You could probably, from where I was at, pull back a little bit from the red line, give yourself a little bit of room. So if we're on a headwind day, you can pull the wind out and you can try and get to the same spot out here every time. The only variable here is we got to do max overpower. So there is some, you know, where it's not necessarily gonna be in the same spot every time, but trying to be consistent and just put yourself in the right spot so that your second shot is very similar from one round to the next. You don't really need to bring out anything special, but this hole and that last par 4, you got to bring out whatever you need to bring out in your bag in order to get these holes. These are the holes. This is the round right here. If you come out and you make those 2, that's 28. If you make them on both sides, I mean, that may not win, but that's going to at least put you in the conversation. And I really think you can't, and I did it earlier today with a Power 3 ball with my low-level account. I can't say I did. I went out and practiced, and I was able to get over. I ended up in the sand on the other side, but I was able to get the ball to go over the hill with 4 topspin and 10 less power, and so you can get it done. But I went and practiced it and tried it with a Power 5 ball, and it was definitely looked like it was going to be easier. Let's practice it here just once, just so I can roll through some balls and see what it looks like when you've got a upper developed, maxed out extra mile. My whole thing is I'm not trying to be greedy. I don't need to get on the green. If you could get on the green, hey, more power to you. But I don't need to get on the green. I just need to get on the green side. I just want to get to the bottom on the green side and be in the fairway. If I get more than that, then that would be fine. But just getting over to the other side is the goal. Claudio goes first. Just a little bit of overpower. And they didn't put any topspin on it because if they catch that hill right there, it'll just roll down to the bottom. That right there is, that dog will hunt right there. Right there. Go back to the 23 mark. Let's put all the topspin on. I think I'm going to do something in that range right there, because that gives me a couple rings if we had a headwind day to pull the wind out. Not sure what kind of rollout I'd get on the other side. Nothing wrong with the Firefly, but the only thing I will say with the Firefly is if you're using it, you got to hit it perfect. Now and the thing about this hole too is in the past, it looks like it's a little flatter, but in the past, it used to break really hard to the right. It almost looks like they smoothed this green out when they changed the pin placement. In the hole. Nice shot. Nice shot. Nice. I really do think I'm going to have to take this. Now, I only have a limited amount of Power 5 balls here, so let's take this. Let's use a... I'm not using a lot of spin, so let's swap that ball out for a tight. Nah, I got more Kingmakers. We'll try it with a Katana. Let's do the overpower and see what that looks like. $3 miles an hour. It's like a ring and a half. That'll put me in the tree. I can't believe I made it through the trees. I probably hit one of those bushes and it slowed me down, but all right. Let's try it with the Power 5 ball just so that we can see what it looks like with the Power 5. Take that bag and a Berserker. I want to see if I can run all my topspin and pull back just a little bit. I'm not sure that I'll be able to do that, but I go first. 2.7 should be like a ring and a half. I'm going to put all the topspin on, all the spin on. I'm at the 30. I'm going to pull back to the 25 mark. Do a ring and a half. And put just a titch of overpower on it. And lean just a little. Hitting it perfect. And we'll see if that'll bleed me down there or if it comes rushing through. It's going to come rushing through. Just like that. And that gave me a little teeny bit of leeway. It gave me like a ring. So obviously if we have more than a 2 mile an hour wind, I'll have to do more overpower, but it did give me a little bit of leeway. Just a bit. And I do not like taking the shot from up top. I don't like taking the shot from behind the trees either, I can tell you that. My opponent's going to be behind the trees. Bad behind the trees. Ooh. They might have got... No, I don't know if they got lucky or not. And I hit it great. That side works because it's braking to the right. If I'd hit that right, I definitely would have missed it. That's a difficult spot right there. That shot, I have been down on the bottom, I don't know how many times, and then missed that chip shot. That chip shot it is tricky because it's not just the wind. You're at a distance where the wind is being, hey, and I will tell you, if you're in this spot that my opponent's in, what you do is do not try and hit it through the trees. Like, they may make it, but I've seen more people not make it than make it. And they made it, which is amazing. You can go around the tree. And chip yourself right down to where I was at. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. So if you're in this area where you're behind the trees, just shoot it off this side, because once you catch this hill, it'll roll you down to the bottom. You have curl in your clubs, so just curl it around the tree. Set yourself up so that your ball guide is going where you got a ball guide, and then you could move it over like half a ring or a ring into the tree, and then when you put curl on it, because the curl's not representing your ball guide. So your ball guide's going, hey, dude, you know, it's disappearing in this area and you can't see it because it's in the tree. Well, I'm going to put curl on it and bring it around to that spot, not hit it straight. And if you're in a really bad area here, just hit it onto the hill, because if it whips around and hits that hill, it will roll down to the bottom and you'll have exactly the same shot I had. And I think the shot is actually better from down here than it is from where I was over here, because here you're really catching this slope. It's all down here, hill from here, but it's kind of flat out here. So if you're in this area, you're shooting it up on the flat. My opponent during the practice, that's exactly what they did. They shot it and it was on the flat. I was involved in the slope. And that slope there, it really kind of sucks, because it does make the ball, as it's going, as the ball is coming down, it's starting to drift off to the right, and you can miss the cup. And then the wind's blowing. It could be a difficult setup to make that shot, because it's not just the wind. You got to deal with the wind and the slope. All right, what is hole number 6? What is hole number 6? It's got to be a par 5, right? All right, and this one is definitely easy to overshoot. I want to get like right into this range right here, and we have a rough bump. Now, if I remember correctly, we can get into a red line issue here, and I'm not so sure that I wasn't using a katana to get out into this spot. We'll have to see. We'll see what the deal is, but it seems to me like you can overshoot this and actually take yourself out of the rough bump. You can start off on the other side and try and go at it, but the rough bump is a pretty decent shot. And in the past, using -10 to the cup on the second shot, I have made a bunch of albies on this hole. So we'll see how much they've changed it. Let's see if we can use a katana. Got my number 1 bag. Got my number 1, and actually might be a good hole for my number 5 bag, because I get a little more raw distance. I know on the last par 5, if you have an APOC, especially if you have an APOC and it's got its distance, that little teeny bit of distance can make a big difference. I don't think it does here. But if I remember correctly, I didn't have to put on very much topspin. This isn't a max topspin thing. If you've got a upper developed club in your... I believe we have to do overpower to get over, but it's not. It's overpower and not max topspin. Now we do have to do overpower to get over. What's my opponent got? That's a 4 Powerball. 4, 3, 2, 4. Man, can you make that? Wouldn't that be awesome? If you brought out a power 9 ball, you might be able to get into this area right here and bounce over to that other side. You didn't buy any of those power 9 balls? Come on. I guess I was wrong. Maybe you don't have to do overpower. Just got to hit it out there. Nice clean shot. 4 something. Oh, I missed it. And that just seems like too much topspin. I'm going to do 3. Now I do know from experience that if you end up in the rough down there on the very end, you can recover. There's 3, 4. I'm going to do 10%. And that was every bit of 2 solid rings to the left. One thing about being over on this side is I don't think I'll be in between clubs. It's the distance I'm looking for, but 0.9 times whatever the wind is, divided by wherever the hell I'm at in my club. Let's see what they move. See if they take some wind off. There's 2.5. 2.5. They took 15% off. Still overpulled it. No, they might not have been in max. That might have been the deal there. There's max. There's min. There's mid. So 0.9 times 4.1 divided by 1.1 is 3.35 rings. $3.35. There's 3. There's 3, 2.5. There's 3, 3.5. 3.35. Exactly. Ah! Never know. That would have been close. What was... I gave myself 2 rings away from the rough, but where that ball hit, it was pretty close to the front. Normally I'm 3 rings off there, but the other day when I played it, it seemed like it was short. Like they watered that rough area so that if you were hitting back a little bit farther, your ball would die. All right. In the hole. In the hole. In the hole. Hole number 7. Hole number 7. Hold on a second. Okay. Just making sure there wasn't anybody out my front door. Hole number 7. Get my calculator back up. Hole. Alright, I'm taking the shot from right here, coming at it. Now, there's a... I think I did 10% on this earlier. There's kind of a little... There's a ridge right here, and if you can get on the other side of that, when it rolls down, it will kind of funnel towards the cup, but there's like a little plateau right here. It's hard to see on this 2D image, but when we get out on the course, look for that. There's a... If it gets caught up on the ridge here, it'll make it roll away from it. But if you can just get to the other side of that, it will kind of funnel it down to the cup. I do like this pin placement better than the old pin placement, but this is probably the only hole on this course I can say that. There's several of the pin placements that it really doesn't seem like it's that big of a difference. And I'm going to play this with a katana. And my number 1 bag will work. This is another one of those holes that I think maybe we were doing like a 12.5 or a 15% in the past. Not a fan of hitting over to that side. I can't believe anybody else is either. I have seen a lot of people hit from that side over there, but I think most people have figured out that, wow, I can go to the left. And I'd rather over pull this than under pull it. You can see where they moved. Now we can't see it. You need to stand still and let me draw on the screen. I don't care if you time out. You can see the little bowl where the cup is at. There's a ridge right there, and where we're trying to come in at it, like our 3rd or 4th bounce is going up, and if we don't have quite enough steam, it won't get over that. And it'll do exactly that right there. We need to get up on this plateau up here, and then it'll kind of funnel down to the hole. Grizzly. At the +4 mark. +4 mark, 3.8 divided by 0.9, 5.48 rings, so 5.5 rings. There's 5, and this course is, the color of these greens is making it so you can't see that in-between ring. I almost made it up on it. Almost. I did a 30% right there, and it still laid me down. Because if it gets up on that, I think it's going to just roll down to the cup. But trying to walk it to the cup, you really got to get through all of that movement that's there. Almost made it. Almost. Almost made it. Hitting it perfect. I don't know that I like that putt. I don't want to have to take that putt every time. I'm gonna over pull the hell out of that thing next time, just to make sure. What's screwed up about that is that it's one of those things where you got a headwind like that, and it could be a big adjustment, but then you got a tailwind, and if you do that big adjustment on a tailwind day, you'll over pull it, and you could have some problems. And the power, with the way the wind was right there, I went right back to the red line. If the wind would have been any higher with that angle, I would have needed to bring out a power 3 ball. All right, we got that one in the books. Okay, this hole right here. All right. I'm going to bring out the rock and a power 3 ball. If I remember correctly, it really feels like it was just like one backspin. Let's open that chest. Get it rolling. I think I already did my club card trading. I think I did. I got a Spitfire today. Spitfire. All right, here we roll. Here we roll. I think when I did it the other day, hell, I didn't even have to do max curl. In the past, I've done max curl shots on this, but I didn't even have to do max curl the other day. Mulligan Air. All right, all right, all right. This hole and the other one. These are the two critical holes. The rock. I'm going to do one backspin. I want to try and be lined up with that tree. I'm 5 rings off. This tree right here, lined up with that tree. 5 rings off. 2.5. If I can get lined up with the wind. There's 2.5. Curl out to my pink line. Hitting it perfect. Little teeny bit more curl. Max curl might work better. Max curl would work better. Max curl will get me on the green, but one backspin. So if you can do that with if you got a maxed out rock with the distance that you have there, but with a quarterback, you can do the same thing. Not a fan of hitting through those trees. You can hit through those trees and you can get shit to go your way, but you can also get shit to go the wrong way. You got to get, and look at how close they have to be in order to get their bounce to go underneath of the tree. They're like one hair away, so if they underpull it or overpull it, it's going to go bad. If they underpull it, they're in the rough, and they hit it great to the left, they're in the rough. Hitting the tree, in the sand, boom. There is a legitimate shot through the trees there, but anytime you can not hit through the trees, I mean, let's not hit through the trees. To get away from the slope, and it's the same thing you can do on that other par 4, to get away from the slope so you're not getting involved with it, is just put on a couple backspin and play it like an end bringer and just get it up there and put it in the cup. That way you don't have to deal with that slope that I was talking about on another one, where you're having to deal with the wind and you have to deal with the break of the course. If you get up there and play it like an end-bringer and just put a couple backspin on it, you can get right up next to it and take it all out. Wind still might be a factor, but the slope is not going to be a factor anymore. That is. Come on, dude. You're going to need to put that distance. You're going to need to go, yeah, I would have went just a titch more, but I think that's fine. If they hit it perfect or great to the left. Yeah, they might have missed that by a country mile if they'd hit it perfect. I think a great to the left would have been the only thing that could have saved them. Those two par fours, that is the round right there. The rest of the course is actually, in my opinion, pretty easy. Hole number 9, if you've got lower level stuff, can be a challenge. Which way's the wind blowing? And the deal with hole number 9 is, I think with the power 3 ball, if and I remember correctly, is to get, if you're starting off on this side with a power 3 ball and the wind's going in this way, you can use the wind. But if we've got a headwind, you'll have to bring out a bigger ball in order to get to the other side. The whole goal is to get down here as far as you can. It's a little flatter down here where it's flat to the cup. We want to monster our way all the way down to the bottom if we can. I'm not going to practice. I'm going to play. I hit the wrong button, which isn't unusual. And this is the hole right here where I was talking about if you've got an APOC and you're right there at it, the APOC, that extra little bit of distance can make a big deal. Big difference. Big. Let's think we can use all that wind. All right. Here we go. Harvested a bunch of stuff from my garden yesterday. I made 3 gallons of spaghetti sauce. I had to buy the meat, but I got all of the tomatoes and all of the onions, and I put celery in it. And all the herbs I got from my garden. Enough to make 3 gallons. A lot of tomatoes. It was harvest day yesterday. And that's gonna be really close to that sand. It might go over it. And that spot up there is tough. You think you're higher than the cup? I think so. Three, 4. Should be about 3, 4. Let's put the forward moving wind back in. Hitting it perfect. Let's see how far we can dig ourselves down in there with a power 3 ball. Because if you can catch this hill, it'll roll it down to the bottom and start rolling it down to the flat. I did bring a topspin boost ball here, I think the last time we played this, and I'm not so sure you can't get over to the other side of that if you catch it. I mean, I'm not sure that it nets you anything more, but... And I have no idea on this, so I'm going to just do 1-to-1. I'm going to just play wherever I'm at in my club. We'll see. I think one of my teammates said that they were on this earlier today, and they made the Albie at 1-to-1 plus 0.1. That shot will work. That shot right there will work. Right at max. At the +2 mark, I'm going to wedge my ring as a +3 mark. Try and find a spot. It's consistent. +3. 2.7, I'm going to do 2.8. There's 2.8. Hitting it perfect. We'll see how close we can get. Not even close. Not even enough pull. Shit, I needed to do like 20% there. This is the whole thing about playing these tournaments, is when you're playing them, going through and finding the lowest hanging fruit, the fruit that we need to pick. Oh, shut my mouth. And finding the hole, like those 2 par 4s, like if there's no other holes that you focus on the whole week except for those 2 and you achieve it, that really will change the round. There's a lot of holes here that we do have some serious opportunities on. But just getting those 2 will be big. We'll see what it looks like here. I'm sure that there's a 15 or somebody at the top. 16 at the top. Yes, getting it done. This is what I'm saying, is the 14 is going to be the minimum score. And so you need to pick those 2 up. And then we really need to pick something up on top of that. And that 16 is a fantastico score. Fantastic shit. Minimum score is not going to make it. You got to pick them up. That's the deal. Now this is tier 3 and a higher. I am confused about how the tiers are. They have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, but I don't think tier 2, they don't even use tier 2. They take you from tier 1 to tier 3, and what, I suppose you could be relegated from tier 3, and so they have to have a tier 2, but what do they have, like 1 tier within tier 1 and 1 tier within tier 2, and then 75 tiers within tier 3? The theory is that there's tiers within the tiers. Well, there's not any tiers within the tier 1 and 2. So basically what they're doing, what that tier thing is all bullshit. You're in tier 3 and they just lumped everybody together and then do the thing. I don't know. It actually seems like it's more unfair now than it was before. Before, I didn't think it was actually that unfair. If you work yourself up to Masters and then you want to go down and play Rookie, then you're going to play Rookie against everybody who's at one point been a Master. So you're more apt to play against, you're playing against better people. Everybody out there on the course has got good stuff. Most of the people in your bracket, probably 90 people out of 100, have great stuff. But I don't understand how this tier thing works, because if there are tiers within tiers, that's only in tier 3. Because tier 1 and 2, they want to move you up to tier 3 and just lump everybody together in tier 3, which seems a little weird. All right, there you have it. There you have it. It's going to, shit, I don't even know. Is that going to make it? Yeah, I think that will make it. But you have to shoot at 14 or better just to get into the conversation. Well, think about this. You put together 10 of these brackets in order to make an opening round bracket. That means the lowest score coming in was a 13. That means every person in the bracket shot a 13. And we got over half the people in here shot a 14 or better. So it'll be 28 just to make middle of the pack. It'll be a super tight tournament. Super tight. But right now, really make sure that you figure out a way, whatever you got to do, whatever you got to pull out of your bag in order to get those 2 par 4s. Thanks for watching. That was my practice round. I may just practice while I'm watching TV tonight with my 77 account and then actually play to qualify it tomorrow. We'll see. I usually don't like to wait until Wednesday, but it doesn't always work out that way. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Have a good week. Stay safe. And I will catch you on the next one.